This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by the North Law Firm. For car accidents and negligent security cases, call Joe at 239-337-1191. And by Lee Health.
Southwest Florida, welcome to another edition of Lee Pitts Live. Where are we? You're not going to believe this. We're at the Fort Myers Expected, and we're here in sort of like the briefing room, you know, in Hill Street Blues, where all the officers get together in the morning. They go over all the details. I don't know if it's quite as dramatic as Hill Street Blues, but I just feel so cool being in the briefing room at the Fort Myers Police Department. This is the first time that Lee Pitts Live has actually come into the Fort Myers Police Department. I think that sends a signal throughout Southwest Florida, and especially Fort Myers, that the Fort Myers Police Department is all about community engagement, community policing, and being a friend and partner with the community. So we're so thrilled today to have a guest on our show who's the head man here, Chief Derrick Diggs. We also get a chance to talk to Victor Woods. He's an author of A Breed Apart and a motivational speaker. You'll learn all about him. Did that interview prior to the show. And we'll get some comments about him from Chief Diggs to see how he ties in. It's the state of the Fort Myers Police Department right here on Lee Pitts Live. We'll be right back. Southwest Florida, welcome back. Get a chance to talk to the Chief of the Fort Myers Police Department, Derrick Diggs. Let's get the state of the Fort Myers Police Department. Let me bump you in, Chief Diggs. First of all, I want to thank you for hosting Lee Pitts Live here for the next 4 weeks. The accommodations have just been outstanding so far.
Well, thank you for being here, and welcome to the Fort Myers Police Department.
I'm glad to be here, man. And the fact that a television show is in here for the first time, our TV show, that sends a message. What message do you think it sends?
Well, I hope it sends the message that we're your police department. We're this city's police department. And to let folks know that we're working together. Mm-hmm. It's about the police and the community having a partnership. And that's what I want to most importantly get out there. This is your police department, City of Fort Myers, citizens of Fort Myers. Come on down, talk to us, hang out, have a cup of coffee. We're here for you.
That type of relationship fosters what?
Fosters trust, positive engagement, and fosters support.
I recently saw you out at the basketball game at Stars Complex. Some police officers were playing in the basketball game. It was a great thing with some professional athletes as well. And that I hadn't seen that in a long time, where police officers out playing basketball with the community. What did you think about that whole experience?
I loved every minute of it, because that's what we need to be doing. The police officers in this police department has to be part of the community, not a part from the community. And we got some guys that can ball too. So. Mm-hmm. You know, we want to be able to be out there. We want the community to support us, but also we want to support the community and be part of the community. And events like that help foster that.
I see your True Blue campaign. It seems like a really nice campaign. What do you hope people, when they see True Blue, what do you want them to think?
I want them to think that we're true to them, we're true to our community, we're true to our commitments as police officers in our police department, and we're true to our city.
When I say the state of the Fort Myers Police Department, I look forward to saying that, and I'm saying it right now. If I said to you, what is the state of the Fort Myers Police Department, your answer is?
The state of the Fort Myers Police Department is we're moving in the right direction. We're making this city safer. Our crime numbers are going down, as I said before, they continue to go down. Violent crime has continued to go down. Property crimes are going down. Violent crimes, as far as crimes involving weapons and shootings, are going down. And what that translates is that the city of Fort Myers is a safer city. And that's what we're all about.
Let's line something up so people can see a real picture. You spend time lining things up. Let's say 2 years ago at this time, violent crime was what, and now it's down to what now?
Well, basically our violent crime has been reduced by 21%. Our homicides have dropped by 33%. We have solved over 80% of our homicides. Aggravated assaults using weapons, some people call them felonious assault, that's been dropped by 50%. Our manslaughter has been dropped by 100%. So our violent crime is going down. The bottom line is we are a safer community today than we were a year ago and even 2 years ago.
Now I'm looking at the fact that it was less than 2 years ago that you came on board. Not that I'm trying to put a lot of emphasis on you. I know you have a team, but to come on board in less than 2 years and to start to see that dramatic change that quickly, what does that say about one person being such a influence on such a major thing in a short period of time?
Well, I'll just put it this way. We as a team are working very hard to protect this community. And the credit goes to the hardworking men and women of the Fort Myers Police Department, who is following the directions that I've set and is rallying around to make sure that we can keep this city a safe city. The credit goes to the officers out there. The officers out there who are 24/7 on those streets, in those alleys, patrolling the neighborhoods, doing the follow-up investigations. That's where the credit goes.
Oh, that sounds good, but still there's leadership, and I'm saying, I know you're modest and everything, but I want to give you some credit for that as well. Let's go to the your flagship passion, continuing to connect with the youths in our community. What has been some of the feedback, and what are some of the processes that you're able to influence what you do, positive reinforcement to the children of our community?
Well, we're very, very much youth focused now. And I believe that we have to do the things to support the community, support our schools, and as far as working with these kids. It's tough being a kid these days. You know, lack of parenting skills, lack of parenting responsibilities, substance abuse, peer pressure. It's tough being a kid, not like it was me and you growing up. So we feel we have a role. We're strengthening our police athletic program. We just, I'm proud to say, started our own football league. Have about 150 kids signed up to play football this year. NBA basketball, we're expanding that program, working with the folks in the Stars community and having a basketball program for our kids. And of course, of all things, we always got to keep our boxing, because we feel that that's a sport that we can really tie into the kids as far as structure and discipline. So our PAL program is taking off. We're going to be getting more funds. We have a very good PAL board, and the whole idea is to make sure that we can start using the STARS facilities more and merge the programs out there that are going with our PAL program. So I'm really excited about what we're doing in PAL. We got a great PAL officer, Lamar Campbell. This guy is going to get him with some football team. He says, I'm going to get that football team.
I like Mark's disposition too. People saw me interview him a few weeks ago on the show, and he's really passionate about those children. It's all he talked about, the children, getting them to relate to law enforcement and to feel like, you know, they got somebody that they can talk to.
Absolutely. We can reach these kids and give them the structure they need to be successful. We can do the things that we need to do to give them discipline, because the bottom line is this: we got to get our kids in school, keep them in school so they can graduate. We can't get them graduate, they can't get jobs. And I think there's a role the police department can play. I think PAL plays a big role, because we use athletic as that hook to get those kids in, and we start building those relationships and that support that will support the parents, that will support our schools to keep these kids and get them to graduate.
About 2 years ago, when you took on this position, if you are just going to limit it to two things, what would you say were the two major things that needed to be fixed in Fort Myers Police Department, and where are you in that fixing process or improving process?
Well, the two most important things, I would say, number one, we had to address the violence. Okay, there was way too much violence. And as I just repeated to you, we're on our way reducing the violent crime in this community. The second most important thing is building the positive relationship with the citizens of Fort Myers, to build that trust. And that means we have to be able to build trust so we can work together. We got to get their support. We got to get them to let us know what's going on in their neighborhoods and their streets, because if they don't, then we won't be able to keep crime down. So those are the two most important things.
How would you describe the process, the progress on trust? I mean, it's kind of arbitrary, but if you had a scale, say from 1 to 10, 10 being the best, where do you think you are right now in building that trust?
Oh, we're on our way. It's not where I would like for it to be, and sometimes it's frustrating, but we're working very hard to get out there. People in the community knows it. They come up to me all the time. They'll tell you, is getting better. Some people say it's getting a little better. Some people say it's getting a lot better. We're heading in the right direction. Are we where we would like to be? No. But it's going to take time. It's only been 2 years.
You said people in the community are telling you specifically, and I
Absolutely.
read that somewhere too where you've said that. How are they getting to you? How are they getting directly to the police chief? Are you walking around amongst the people?
Let me tell you something. I can't even go to the grocery store without somebody pulling me aside and everything, which is fine.
You seem pretty cool with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always yanking you too.
I know that. But I want folks to understand that I'm here to make sure that our police department is to the point where they're proud of them. And I don't mind being approached out there. I mean, I can't even go down the aisle of the grocery store without somebody coming up and talking to me about stuff like that. But that's okay. I want people to know I am approachable and I can talk to them and I can make them feel safe, because that's what we're trying to do. We're working very hard. We're working with our youths. We just reestablished our youth division, and we're working very focused on some of the youths that may be out there doing some things they shouldn't be doing. We're working on them to keep them in line and keep monitoring them and stuff like that. So we're well on our way, and I'm very proud of that. It's frustrating at times because it's been a long time when you have community as divisive as this community has been at times. But we're working. We're heading in the right direction.
Okay, we're gonna go to a break and come back. Go down the road of the body cameras and
Okay.
what we found by using those so far, and whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're continuing our conversation, getting a little state of the Fort Myers Police Department, specifically since the new chief has been at the helm for close to 2 years now, Chief Derrick Diggs. Welcome back to Leap It Live.
Thank you.
The body cameras, people who watched our show a couple of weeks ago where I interviewed several of your law enforcement officers who did an outstanding job. All of them had these cameras right here. It was a cool scene to see. You say that goes back to 2017?
That's absolutely. That's one of the first things I wanted to make sure, because, we want to make sure that folks understand that our officers are being professional out there and doing their jobs. And I think body cameras can do that. It helps to legitimize what we're doing out there. Plus, it gives a view of what the officers are actually doing, so that they don't have to hear about rumors. They don't have to hear, well, this officer did this wrong, this officer did that wrong. We have body cameras. Every engagement that a patrol officer has with a citizen is on body camera. And if there's a dispute, if there's an allegation, if there's a disagreement as far as what happened, we can always go back and get the tape and sit down with citizens and show them what happened. In many cases, several different views, because we have every officer on a body camera. Those body cameras have basically legitimized what we've done out there thousands of times. There's been numerous complaints placed by our officers about inappropriate conduct, but we bring out the body cameras and found out that the officers are doing exactly what they need to do. So it was very important to get our officers out there on body cameras. In 2018, you're going to start seeing us, all the marked police cars will have dash cams, and it's going to be connected to our body cameras, which is going to be connected to our tasers. And so it's all about legitimacy, establishing the legitimacy, so if people know that our officers are out there doing the things they're supposed to be doing in a professional manner.
Is it fair to say that the Fort Myers Police Department right now is state of the art, or we got a ways to go in terms of technology?
We in 2018, we will be state of the art. We'll be a state of the art police department.
You will have gotten your wish list that I'm sure you had when you first came in and said, we need this, we need that, and it'll be there. Where does that money come from? You're getting a great deal of cooperation from the city of Fort Myers?
Absolutely. We're getting a great deal of leadership from the city manager
Saeed.
and city
Kissimmee.
council. And we're also getting grants from the state. We had a big grant from the state of Florida that was put through by some of the state representatives here. And we're always out there looking for grants and other funding opportunities. So we got United States Department of Justice. They're coming through with funding and stuff and support and everything. So those are some of the funding sources we have as putting some of this stuff together.
Are there ways that the general public can support the Fort Myers Police Department in ways like that as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. All kinds of funding. So we're looking at PAL. We're trying to find donors to continue to contribute to our PAL program, and so we can buy the helmets and the shoulder pads and the basketballs and the uniform and the transportation and so on and so forth. So we're always looking for funding opportunities.
Well, I want to go on record right now. We'll be sending a check. I'm not going to say the dollar amount, but it'll be, reasonably okay for the payout program. How about that?
There you go, my man.
All right, and I encourage everybody else
There you
to
go.
do it as well. The back to the body cameras. You were talking about the fact that you're finding some positive results in terms of what officers are doing. Have we seen anything negative? And if there is something negative that officers not doing what they're supposed to do, is that something that the Fort Myers Police Department would be comfortable letting the public know about?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Part of transparency.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When folks, one of the first things when folks want to make a complaint, and we know that officer, we identify who the officers are, we look at those body cameras. And we let the citizens come in and sit down and view the body camera, and we can discuss what the officer did, what the officers didn't do. And those officers know that if they do not activate that camera when they're supposed to, there's disciplinary action that's taken. It's all about accountability. And even the officers who at first was kind of hesitant about body cameras or didn't want to wear body cameras, today those same officers will tell you, I'm glad I'm wearing this body camera, because it legitimizes what the officers are doing out there. Mm-hmm. It shows exactly what they did. And so even our most ardent critic, as far as officers not wanting to wear those body cameras, they put that body camera on and they wear it proud, because it knows that it justifies what they're doing out there.
No, I like that. You don't know this, and I'm not going to call his name, but today this morning I was having breakfast at Waffle House. Bumped into a young African American and well known in the community. I'll tell you his name off air. And he said, Chief Diggs came up to me, and I told him I was going to Fort Myers to tape some shows, Fort Myers Police Department. He said, Chief Diggs came up to me and let me know there was an employment opportunity at the Fort Myers Police Department if I was interested. I said, you're going to do it? He said, I think I'm going to do it. And I know he's a stand-up citizen, good guy. And the way he said it was like, he had bumped into you, you were real easy to talk to, and I said all that to lead into the recruitment process for you to make a pitch right now to recruit people, and certainly to recruit people of all ethnic backgrounds. Go.
Absolutely. We are hiring. One of the things we're at a massive hiring process because we do not have the staffing we need for a city our size and our complexity to protect this community. So we're hiring. And as I've said numerous times before, I believe the police department has to reflect the diversity of the community it serves. So we are hiring. And if you know of anyone out there that wants to make a difference in a community, please have them go on our website, have them come down to the police department, have them give me a call, because we are definitely hiring. Our numbers are increasing in the police academy. We have very different types of incentives. If individuals have relocating from other parts of the country, we give them a certain amount of incentives. If people are in part of the state, we give them a different amount of financial incentives, and so on and so forth. I'm to the point now where certain individuals who meet our qualifications, I'm willing to pay for their police academy training. So we're doing all the things we need to do to try to build this police department up, to make sure this police department is at the right staffing level, and to make sure this police department reflects the diversity of this community.
That sounds really good. Emphasize to people that throughout this interview, your website has been appearing on the screen, and that they can go there for all their needs there. Well, Chief, it's been a pleasure having you here on the show. Look forward to getting you back in the future. When we come back from the break, we're going to get a chance to talk to Victor Woods. People see me talking to him out in the field. Tell us what you know, a brief on Victor Woods.
Let me tell you something about Victor Woods. Victor Woods is someone who has demonstrated to me that he can make a connection with the folks that we need to make a connection with to turn their lives around. And I've run him down here to help me engage the community, specifically working with our youth, working with our young kids, and it's just been outstanding. He's somebody that can go in and make that connection, and he does a great job. He's working with me on a structured program. We've been to the detention centers, we've been to high schools. I would like to get him at every high school in this community to work with these kids. He's not only does he go into the school and talk to these kids, he set up special sessions for some of the kids who are a little bit harder to reach afterwards, and do some concentrated mentoring with them. And then at night, the parents of these kids, he sits down with them and work with them too. So we've got a good program going on with his initiative. We're working together. Sometimes we're going and tag team, but he's very much a part of the community engagement initiative that we're trying to do with our youth in the city of Fort Myers.
Okay, come right back. Victor Woods.